Hello everyone, my talk kind of follows well from Nurhan, so yeah, I hope you enjoy it. So, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We've all heard this saying before, but we know it's not true. Words can hurt more than having sticks and stones thrown at us. But why do words hurt? I mean, they're just words. Hello, my name is Sara Ahmed, and today I'm going to be addressing the question, can emotional pain manifest physically? I'm going to illustrate this question using a case study on a congenital analgesiac. Congenital analgesiacs cannot feel physical pain. Their pain receptors degenerate and they can't transmit signals from the external environment to their central nervous system. So these people have never felt their teeth get pulled out and have never experienced a migraine. Sounds nice. However, consider this congenital analgesiac who reported tension-type headache symptoms after the sudden death of her younger sibling. This woman is 32 years old and has never experienced physical pain, but it seems that the most traumatic emotional experience of her life has triggered physical pain. So this begs the question, can emotions manifest physically? Well, research on chronic pain can shed some light on this question. Individuals with chronic pain, such as chronic back pain, arthritis, fibromyalgia, you name it, share the common symptom of widespread ongoing pain in multiple areas of their body. After several years with this condition, they start to develop symptoms of negative psychological affect. If this is left untreated, they can develop conditions like depression, anxiety, and catastrophizing. Now, it makes sense that if you're in pain for a long time, you're going to be a negative person. But why is this pattern seen in many people with chronic pain? Well, people who do research on chronic pain have attributed its onset to two different factors, either physical trauma or a negative psychological condition. So for example, if you get into a car accident and you sustain a really bad back injury, you're going to be in chronic pain for a short period of time until it heals. In the case that it doesn't heal, it's going to be chronically stimulating the pain circuits in your brain. And similarly, people with depression are chronically stimulating their emotional pain circuits in the brain. Now, if these two circuits overlap, then aggravating one should aggravate the other. And this is what researchers have found. So, from this we can take away that pain is composed of two different components, an affective component and a sensory component. And this is processed in several different areas in the brain, including the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the anterior and posterior insula, and the primary and secondary somatosensory cortex. The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula are involved in the affective processing of pain. So this has to do with the emotional distress you feel when you're in pain. So if you were to get a cut or break a bone, you feel a lot of distress and you might even cry. People with lesions to these areas report feeling pain, but they report not being distressed by it. They're not bothered by their pain. The posterior insula and the primary and secondary somatosensory cortex allow us to localize where pain is in our body and determine how intense that pain is. So for example, if I poke myself here in my arm, these areas are allowing me to find where I'm poking myself and how hard I'm poking myself. People with lesions to these areas feel the emotional distress associated with pain, but they can't localize it in their bodies. So how is emotional pain processed by the brain? Well, let's look at some work in the area of social pain. Cross and colleagues had people relive an unwanted breakup under fMRI by showing them images of their ex-partners. These people showed activity in the anterior and posterior insula, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, and the secondary somatosensory cortex, all areas involved in the affective and sensory processing of pain. DeWall and colleagues looked at the effect of physical painkillers on emotional pain. They had participants take 2 doses of 500 milligrams of acetaminophen a day, or Tylenol, for 21 days. And they also asked them to keep a diary of their emotional experiences for that period of time. By day 9, represented there by that cross, they found a significant decrease in reported emotional distress and an overall significant decrease in the Tylenol group of reported emotional distress compared to the placebo group. Another group played a ball tossing game that excluded them on purpose under fMRI after taking 2,000 milligrams of Tylenol for 21 days. These people showed less activity in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula, areas involved in the affective processing of pain. So what does all this mean? It means that words and actions can hurt. And I hope now you can appreciate how emotions are experienced in our bodies. So, saying something mean can actually feel like taking a punch to the face. And some people would rather take a punch to the face than have to endure the silent treatment. I know I would. People with emotional pain don't want to be emotionally incapacitated. Their physiology influences them to be that way. So we should be cognizant of our actions and our behaviors because one thing can influence different people in different ways. But is there a way to make emotional pain feel better? Well, one solution is smiling. Why? Because smiling makes us feel really good. Ron Gutman discussed the contagious effects of smiling, and that children on average smile about 400 times a day, whereas us boring adults smile only 20 times a day. And that's why being around children is such a pleasure. Look at the smile on all of your faces. This baby probably just made your day. The pleasure of one smile also equates to eating 1,000 chocolate bars or receiving $25,000 in cash. So you can get fat and rob a bank, or you can smile. The choice is yours. So next time you're in a fight with your friend or you're walking down the street, just smile. If you're feeling down, go find your younger niece, nephew, or sibling and hang around them. You'll be preventing emotionally physical pain and possibly alleviating that of somebody else's. Thank you.